So as an OVA player, you have 3 teams in your pool, right? When you're not playing, the other 2 teams are playing. What should you be doing? You should be looking at them. What are you looking for? Well, let's see who the best servers are. Let's see what kind of serves they like to do. They like to spin, they like to float. Maybe they like to serve to a certain zone on the court. All that information that you can gain without touching the floor is so valuable. You know what their everybody has tendencies. Late game situation, 3rd set, 15-14. When that server steps on the court, you think he's going to serve something he's never done before? Oh, he's going to serve his go-to serve. So you knowing the scouting report or you knowing other teams' tendencies will help you so much without doing any practice at all. So go to the tournament, go early, look at the other teams, look at the other teams in other pools that you may see in the playoffs, and make a note of it on your phone. All right, this guy, number 6, he has a hard spinner, deep 1. Number 4 has a good float, short serve, deep 6, or whatever the case is. I don't want you coming in inside the court, because we have no angles if we swing inside the court. In fact, you have no hip mobility. If I come in like this, I can only hit line. If I try to torque, I'm going to swing out or miss the ball. So I want you coming in, and I want you facing the 6-5 seam. So I want you right outside the line, okay, not too far outside, and I want you coming in on the 6-5 angle. So there's my 6-5 seam. I come in straight on my 6-5 seam. Now I have line. Now I can torque and go cross court sharp, like deep shot, or I can go sharp cross. Those are your angles. Right, so that way, and she's pushing a pretty fast tempo, and if that's how you set, no problem. So it's even better coming in this way, because that tempo comes, now we can wait till it crosses, or we can take it off early and make that shot, okay? You know the 5 on a dice? I don't know what that's called, but we're going to do the 5 on a dice. I need an athlete down there. Okay, great. Okay, so Vicky's the setter, she's in the middle of the court, and we have 4 players. So this drill is all about communication and ball control, which is such a significant factor in our game. Okay, ball control is huge. Sophie, pass me a ball. So this is the way the game works. Okay, setter's in the middle. We have 4 corners of players. So the setter is going to set the ball to a player. Okay, it doesn't matter what player you set the ball to. So I initiate the toss. Setter is going to set. Now let's say, for example, the setter set the ball to Ruby. Ruby becomes the hitter. Exactly. So Lana's going to drop down to that corner. Alyssa's going to drop down to that corner. And you 3 now become our defenders. So Ruby's then going to swing, 40, 50% swing, nothing too crazy. And 1, you're going to have to communicate, right? As soon as that ball is contacted and you see the trajectory where it's going, you're going to be like, my ball, I go. And you pass the ball up nice and high, or dig the ball rather nice and high to the setter. After you dig, you're going to go back to your respective corner. Okay, you girls got that? Go. There it is. That's 1. There it is. That's 2. There it is. That's 3. Yep, that's 4. Good. That's 5. This is a good rhythm here. Good. That's 6. Good. That's 7. Ah, nice try. I would say try to pass with your hips before your platform. So let me say what that means. Let's say, for example, that serve is made, you've established a platform, the ball's coming, and all of a sudden, oh crap, it drifts that way. Well, what do? Do I move my platform that way? Well, normally if I do that, I'm at a risk of it being a shank. I'm at a risk of my platform not facing my target. So here's the secret. Ball comes over, and if you've already established a platform, keep your platform on the target. Don't move it. And take your hips and change your hips. Because now all of a sudden my platform is still in line no matter where I go. But my hips do the work. Does that make sense? So as long as if you've established a platform, let's say here, you can't change. Because the minute you change, it's over. Get that hip bend, and that way your platform will always be in line with your target. Okay? So it's going to take a lot of practice, but I mean, the more reps you... And you ever run into a situation where the float serve comes at you, and the traditional way of passing was to split the ball and make sure we get a good platform and establish a platform and hold it, right? But you ever find that if a float serve's coming at you hard, you end up doing this, and it ends up catching you up here? So I actually never want you to take a float serve straight up. I want you to take it on an angle of some sort. So let's just say, for example, that the ball is served towards you and you've established a platform right here and you're great. Like the ball's coming to you, everything's great. I want you to angle yourself slightly so that in the event that it does change, you're ready to beat it. Okay? Because what happens is if a ball comes right at you and you establish here and it changes, you can't do anything. Like you're already kind of screwed. So if a ball comes at you and let's say you've established, angle just a bit, even if it's right here, you're still cutting the ball off and you're angling just a bit. So if it changes, now all of a sudden I can adjust. We have to move it. Remember, listen, our ability to read out-of-system balls are so important. You're going to get the opportunity to do that as well. So left side passed the ball. Did the setter set the ball? Setter didn't set the ball. Who set the ball? Our libero came in and set the ball, and she called it off. Now, we have to recognize that, wait a minute, libero's setting the ball. That's going to be a high ball offense, right? Is it going to be a tempo set? Probably not. So the minute we see that this libero is setting the ball, our pins come in, and we get ready to go together. Then when she makes that set to left side, boom, we have 3 blockers ready to make sure we have 6 hands up, okay? So a left side is right foot here, left foot here. This is where you are. Give me a block. Okay, so anything I would say around here is your ball. Anything from this point forward is your ball. If she tips here, that is not your ball. That's your ball. Did you know that? The reason we don't want our left side to take these balls is because now you can't hit. You're out of play completely. But a right side person, like that's fine. That's their job to play defense. All right, so if I'm a right side, now to your question, well, how's she going to get there? Well, it's the same read. So when these 2 girls were up and she's here playing the hitter, right? If the hitter's going this way, she's here playing the block. If the hitter's going that way, she's coming up and she's playing this tip here. Don't die into the last 2 steps. Okay. Go faster into the last 2 and stay tall. Don't slouch because if you're coming like this, your range of motion, now you have to go up, see the ball, and then turn, right? All that time is wasted. Yeah. The other thing too is, so come in fast, and then on your last 2, like 1, 2, stay open to her, and don't rotate until you're ready to swing. We talked about passing zones. Remember, like anything that you can reach is in your passing zone. So what a lot of you are doing is, if the ball is served, let's say to the left side of your body, and it's in your passing zone, you're still trying to take a step and cut it off, and you find that screwing you over. Sometimes you're overshooting the ball, all right? Sometimes the ball hits you up here. So we have to be comfortable, we have to get used to this uncomfortable feeling of passing outside of our body. And this is really awkward, right? This really pulls your lat, it stretches, and it's not a normal motion. So we have to get used to, as long as we recognize that the ball is in our passing zone, we don't have time to step and make our pass. We have to get used to keeping our platform on target, reaching outside, bringing this left shoulder inside, and holding to that target. Right, so remember a lot of times where you were like this, you step, right? And everyone makes that motion. They're here, step and go. But if you don't have to step, don't step. Just get there and hold. This is awkward, but this is a good pass. Every volleyball coach is different, but I really believe that communication is so important, especially like during gameplay. Like, I'm not talking about communication where you're on the court and you're like, okay, right seams, all right, we're good. Like, I'm talking about communication while the rally is going on. So, for example, if a setter manipulates the ball to left side and we notice that that left side attacker is going to tip, our entire team needs to communicate. And more specifically, let's say that my right side blocker is Sav. So Sav, you're my right side blocker. And I'm the wing defender. I'm playing defense backcourt. As soon as I see a tip, my job is to let Sav know that I have his back. Like, Sav, I got your tip, I got your tip. Because that will tell him in his head, okay, I have a defender behind me, and now I can go and protect my zone, come back down, and he has my back. And it may not sound like it's important, but believe me, in a game, how many times have you seen a blocker go up and come back and try to dig a ball? Because they weren't sure that their wing defender behind them was there. You have to maintain the same height. So when I say that, if a ball is coming here, and all of a sudden the ball floats up, and you raise up with the ball, that's room for error. You don't want to do that. You want to stay at the same height through the entire trajectory of the ball. So what that means is, like, if I'm here, and that ball is being drifted and served right to me, and all of a sudden it changes height. Instead of me raising up, I'm here, my platform will change, not my height. So my height stays the same, so my eyes can track the ball. You can't track the ball going like this. Does that make sense? There's no way you're going to track the ball moving your head up and down. If you're like right level-headed, and you're steady and your height does not change, now all of a sudden your eyes can stay on the ball, and if it goes up, you can track it and raise your platform wherever the ball goes. Okay, hand positioning is important, okay? Thumbs up, fingers out. Shoulder width apart. I don't want to see my blocker's hands tight like this, because if you're tight like this, that's easy room for a tool. You want to create as much space, you want to take away as much space as possible. So thumbs up, fingers out, fingers wide, and have hard fingers. Not light fingers like this, hard fingers. And when we press, the way I like to teach it is shoulder over head, because it's impossible to get your shoulder over your head. So you want to really get your shoulder elevated high, thumbs up, fingers out, and really get up and seal the block. I can tell right off the back if your fingers are like this that it's going to be a weak block and you're going to get tooled. Thumbs up, fingers out, shoulder width apart, create space, and then really get in that zone and block the ball. All right, let's go.
Another thing that
Go faster. Like here, let me show you. Like when it comes to contact point, right? If you ever feel like you're contacting the ball down here, it's because you're not going fast enough. Because wherever the height of the ball is or the trajectory of the ball on an attack, you have to go get it. So if you're going to get the ball and you're swinging here, it's because you're not fast enough. So speed up your approach and go after the ball and reach it at the highest point. Yeah. A couple of things that I see with athletes a lot of times is you may think that you're starting up here, like this is good defense, and then when the contact is made, you now have to go down and to the ball. We want to avoid that down and to the ball movement. We want to start low already, so now we're already low to the ground. When contact is made, I can dig wherever I got to dig. Okay. The second thing too is make sure you have a wide base, right? If my base is like this, my area of defense just became shorter. I can't reach as far back. But if my base is wide, my area of defense becomes a lot bigger and I can cover more ground regardless of where my hands go. Does that make sense? So we don't want to be up here, we want to be down here. Now defense is played before the contact is even made. We got to look at, now in terms of this drill, myself and Robert are on boxes, but look at the toss. Look at the angle of approach that the hitter's coming in at. Right? Use the information that the hitter is giving you so you can play defense better. Right? Defense is about reading. Before anything else, it's about reading. You could be the fastest reflexes in the world, but if you don't read, you won't be as successful. So read the hitter, okay? See where the angle is, see the contact point, see if he's tipping, if he's swinging, if he's cutting the ball, okay? If he's rolling the ball over the net, right? Use all the different shots, see it, and once you see it, you go. And don't even hesitate. Once you read, as soon as you read and you've committed to that read, you go and play defense. Okay? I would rather you be late than get faked out. Because here's the thing. If you're here, right, and you think the setter's going to go right side, you kind of hesitate and go this way first, and you get screwed up, now you have a one-on-one. The worst thing you have in the game is a one-on-one because your defense is really put in an awkward position. One-on-ones, 9 out of 10 times, offensive team scores. So I'd rather have you here, right? Wait till the setter manipulates the ball and then go. Because even if the setter goes really fast and you're like, okay, shit, there's no way I'm going to get there in time, at least you can get to the footwork, do your footwork, get over, and take an area away. And now our defense has seams that we can play defense out of. Does that make sense? So if I'm late on the block, that's fine. Just get to an area, jump, don't drift, take an area away, and now my lib and my 6 back has great position. Now we understand where the seams are. We can step in and play defense. But if you're drifting, and if you get faked out and leave the one-on-one, our defense has to scramble him. When you're swinging, where do you get most of your power from? Your core. Hip rotation, okay? So a lot of times what I saw was you guys went up like this, you went up straight, and you came in and you swung like that. Elbow was great, release point was great, and you swung and try to get most of your power from your wrist and your elbow. But you want to bring your hip back and get your power from your hip. Right, that's what really generates a lot of speed. So you come in, just like the angle you were coming in on. However, you want to make sure this hip is back. So that now when that ball is coming over and you track and you swing, your hip comes forward and then you drive for it. And you'll find way more power in your swing. All right, some of you do it naturally. But we don't want a straight motion like this. We don't want to go up and our hip straight to the court. We want our hip back. So now ball comes, my hip is back, and now I can generate power by really rotating that hip forward and swing. Does that make sense? Assuming that a ball was set you're coming down on the block. Now, you want to get outside as fast as possible. Now, everyone's different. Like, if you feel like backpedaling is the best way for you, then that's fine. The footwork that I normally teach is come down off the block, open up into the court. Okay, so we go 1, turn, and take a big step this way. So your shoulders are going that way. All right, so we're here. We go 1, 2, and then you hop back, and you're ready to attack. All right, so it's 4 steps. So we're here, come down. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I find that's faster than coming down and then just shuffling, because now you got to catch yourself back here and you're going backward in momentum, and then you come here. Okay, so 4 steps. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're ready to explode. Okay, it is. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. There it is. Good. Now be explosive.